The Seattle Seahawks' last Friday practice for the 2024 season is over, and the big news coming out of the VMAC here is that Abe Lucas will not play against the Rams on Sunday, and that Geno Smith was limited in practice today due to a right bicep. All right, so let's get to the video and the injury report.
Yeah, we've talked about the circumstances, but our guys have been great. They're putting in the work, just like we've done every week, and our goals have changed, but we've had great days of practice, great days of prep. So guys are really adamant on finishing the right way.
What happened with Abe Lucas?
He has a core injury, ab. Just not going to make it to the game. I think you're looking at a lot of things. I mean, obviously Ernest being his history in LA. Lockett just felt like, to close the season out with the veteran voice of the unit. Tyler does a great job of kind of putting everything in perspective, having been through kind of all the things throughout the league in his career. So he's a guy we're always leaning on. Ernest is the same way. So, I mean, the former team thing definitely, plays a part in it, but he's just a great force for our football team. So wanted to recognize him in that.
Last week was disappointing. What we did, defense played great. So I think it's more about focusing on us and the things we got to do to try to produce better and turn down and keep ourselves on the field and give ourselves the chance to get explosive plays.
Ryan, what have you learned? How have you changed since week 1 to now?
Oh boy, I don't think I've changed. I think there's things that naturally everybody goes through the first year, and any type of change in venue as far as leagues and things like that. So I would say the biggest thing is just understanding some of the things that you got to do to tailor your systems and your guys, and which we've always been able to do really well. And so I think continue to grow that process and be able to attack different defenses and defensive families the right way. And I think that's been probably as big of a process as anything, is just understanding that part of it, is that there's different families defensively that show up in the NFL, and schematically where their things come from and how to attack those things. I think Mike does a great job of talking those things through, attacking scheme and structure, not just people. And certainly if there's people that we can attack, we want to go after them too, but understanding why are we doing things. And I think offensively, those are some things that we've had some really high moments this season, and obviously some low moments with that too. So I think that's what we've learned is how to try to attack those things better on a week-to-week basis. Cover 3. I think that there's things that marry together with personnel groups and things like that you have to certainly be prepared for. And I don't feel like I've ever been behind. I think the guys we got on staff, you got plenty of NFL guys that have done this longer than I have. So I certainly think we've got the right resources to make those things. The team looks up to in a lot of different ways, just both professionally and just the type of person he is. And I don't think there's anybody in the team that would be surprised by Tyler saying that, myself included. He's one of the classiest guys I've ever been around. He genuinely cares for his teammates. He comes out here and lays it out every day. All at the same time, I mean that. I know there's certainly people that are probably share my frustration, and our fans deserve the best. And I think that we have a great team, and I think that there's times where we line up and play people, and certainly some of the best teams in the NFL. And I don't feel like there's people we watch on film and it's like, oh my God, how are we going to move the ball on these guys? I feel excited every time we get an opportunity to play, some of the best in the league. And I really feel like we're on the cusp of that we can do something really special. And I know right now those are just words, and that doesn't help anything at this point. And, the season's going to be over this weekend, unfortunately, which hurts. I know what this team's put into it, and that we really feel like with everything that's happened this season, that we really had plenty of chances to put ourselves in the postseason. So it's difficult to see for us. The consistency in the O-line early in the season, I think, would be something that could help us a lot. Where we're not melting through things and getting new centers and things like that. I'm not trying to make an excuse. I do think that will help, though. If you can have some early consistency, guys knowing the scheme early on, so you're not fixing problems and correcting things through, the first 5 weeks of the season. So, I think there's things after the bye week that we certainly have done better after we were able to kind of regroup and put a study on those things. So I think the continuity piece, knowledge, and then I do think there's a ownership to the physicality of how we should play and finish that we got to get better at. he's proud of, and probably some things he's disappointed in, just like everybody. But I think he's a warrior. The guy doesn't complain. It isn't all the things I'm talking about. Like he always looks at it that there's going to be 5 guys up there working for him, and whoever those 5 are, he's going to pour into them. And you gotta admire a guy like that. So I'm excited for the off season to see where things can go with Lee. DK's been frustrated at times, not publicly, but just he's a competitor. He wants the ball. And he's a really good player, and he should want that. So I think for him, after he got back from the injury, I think there certainly was a way a style that people were playing him, that every week we went into a game and there was coverages we hadn't seen on film that people would adapt to DK. So we'll continue to try to get him football, and we'll find a way to get it to him. And when he can't get it, weaponize having him on the field. But there's ways that we continue to try to get that done for him.
I think Leo's playing an extremely high level, as anyone in the league, I would say, and I think we're all proud of him. I think you want recognition from your peers. It's hard, you see him today, but what he's done, 60 tackles, 9 sacks, he's playing lights out as a game record week in, week out, and I think he's what our defense needs. Love him. I would say I'm really thinking about the man. So I haven't even gotten to the next phase, and that's how I'd answer that. He does a lot of different things on a lot of different levels, and he supports me as a friend. He supports me as a co-worker. He mentors me. For me personally, I'm talking. I'm not really talking outside of that. He means a lot to me. He's helped me a lot.
All right, so there you go. You heard from Mike McDonald talking about Abe Lucas. Now, the reason why we didn't hear from Mike talking about Geno is because Mike finished his press conference, then the injury report came out. So it was came out of left field for us reporters. As I said, Geno talked to us, this week during his normal weekly press conference, and he practiced the last 2 days, except for today, obviously, which was limited. And the other limited practice participation was Byron Murphy, and he was limited, and so the issue with him is that he's listed as questionable. So he's kind of has a higher upgrade, if you will, in regards to injury. So I think that Geno Smith will play because he wasn't listed as questionable. The alarm bells only went off because he was limited in practice. So I would guess here that Geno will start on Sunday, and then somewhere along the way, Sam Howell will come in and finish the game. That is my guess. And, you heard Mike talk about Abe Lucas, and Josh Jobe also will not play. Now, as I said all week, and we'll say it one last time, this is a must-win game for the Seattle Seahawks to finish off on a 2-game win streak, get to that 10-game mark that they need to finish off the season on a high note. So, from the VMAC in Redton, I'm Asvita Maria for the CascadiaSports.net report. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And before I say thanks for subscribing, please put some notes in there. And what is it you want me to cover during the off season? All right. Thanks for subscribing.